Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let's see what we got here. What? Conor McGregor OnlyFans. Buying OnlyFans is crazy. That's random. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we can find. What's going on in the UFC world here?
They get paid a way bigger check without having to go to court or pay expenses.
I want to say, man, thanks, Israel. I'll let you get the last part. I just want to say thanks, man. I've hated on you like you wouldn't believe.
I know.
Because haters are your biggest fans, dude. And what you've been able to do not being a wrestler, to me, that's impressive.
I can wrestle, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
of course. Coming from the wrestling, from the wrestling background,
yeah.
85% of all champions have all come from wrestling. So what you've been able to do, and congratulations, dude. And I don't know if it's too late to say I'm sorry.
No. I mean, I only got salty. I was like, man, we'll cool in Australia. Why do you start hating on me? I was a little bit maybe salty, but for me, I respect you because of your game, your mind. I see the way you fight. I see the way you operate. And man, one of the best ever. So thank you for saying that, and no need for apologies. It's already been burned under the bridge. I don't hold on to grudges unless it pays to be petty, but this doesn't. So I love you. You're the man.
You get 360 there. You got some tissue.
I don't even really remember a Izzy and Henry Cejudo beef. I mean, I think maybe I can remember like a few headlines or something here and there. But I don't know if y'all remember this, but it's not ringing a bell for me. I just seen this on YouTube as soon as I got up here.
No, that's I'm glad you answered, but that's important though, because it's for us, like I said, you're Nigerian, all that other Nigerians competing. I already know whose side I'm on. You don't have to tell me. I don't have to even meet the guy. I already know what side I'm on. Him and Calvin, they were cool, Arizona and whatnot, but he had a side he was on. Also, like you mentioned earlier. I need that chip on my shoulder. I need that ego a little bit. Yes, sir. So, whatever. I thought it was cool in Australia.
This podcast has gotten better.
Okay.
'Cause it was rough at first with Kamaru and Henry.
So, everything is in synchronization. That's how the life is working. Like I said, we're in, every season that we're in is important.
But you did say you wanted to come, Captain. You did say you wanted to come on Captain.
Let me explain that.
Whoa, pause. Pause, my guy.
So what happened? I feel like Stone Cold's music. No, but
Big pause, man. I don't know what they talking about, but okay, let's see what else we got here. Do. I'm gonna wait till some more people get in, and then we'll start talking about some stuff. Let's see what this is. Oh, Yoel, Romero, and Paulo Costa. Oh, that was going at it. This might be one of the last times Paulo looked good against a decent opponent. And I hate to say this, man, but Yoel kind of was a little bit overrated because Yoel never won the big fights. He lost every single big fight that mattered. But this was a good fight from both of them. That was a good one. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can. Let me see. What fight should we go look at? What fight y'all want to analyze? Let me see what we got coming up here. I'm going to go to Sherdog and see. And we could do a fight study here. Let's see here. Do. Oh, Anthony Hernandez and Roman Dolidze expected to headline UFC event on August 9th. Okay. I'm not mad at that. That's a good fight too, man. Anthony Hernandez been on a tear, and Roman Dolidze then got back on track. Trevin Guile steps in on short notice against who? I'm surprised he even still in the UFC. So that's kind of shocking, let alone. I guess it's taking a second to load here, but we could look at that later. Whatever. Let me go here to UFC events. Let's see if we got what events coming up. We ain't so much worried about the Aaron Blanchfield and Macy Barber fight. Let's just be honest. Merab and O'Malley. Let's see. We can go do some fight study on that. The Juliana Pennington and Kayla Harrison fight is interesting. Juliana knows how to sell a fight. Yes, sir. Let me see if I can add you in here. If I can add in I can add as a moderator. Okay, you added as a moderator. I don't know how to really do anything else to add you on. Let me see here. What this is gonna do. No, that ain't good. We need to do that. Okay, we need to go back. Okay. But anyway, hey, we can go live on TikTok in about 30 minutes, and then I can add you in. But just comment what you want me to talk about. Just comment. And then we can go live on TikTok. Or you can go live on TikTok now and I can hold this one down. It's just however you want to do it. Okay, so we got Merab and we got Sean O'Malley. What we gonna do after this is we'll upload it to Patreon, because since we look at the UFC fights from YouTube, they're gonna flag it as copyright, y'all. So we will have to upload this. We can take certain parts and put it on YouTube, but other thing, like the whole thing, gonna have to be on Patreon. That's gonna be the only way. But we're gonna break down some fights. We'll probably go do this on TikTok as well. That way y'all can hear both of us. But since this is the next big fight card that's coming up, let's start from the bottom here. We got, I don't really know these guys. Okay, we got Chaos Williams is back versus Uros Medic. We got Ariana Lipsky versus Kong Wang. Whoa, I think she's good. This girl's on tear. Brinson Ribeiro versus Azamat. Joshua Van versus Bruno Silva. Sergey Spivak, we haven't seen him in a minute, versus Waldo Cortez. Vicente Luque versus Kevin Holland. Mario Bautista versus Patrick Mix. I think a lot of people rooting against Mario because his last few fights been kind of bad. His last few fights, man, I know he was on a win streak and he been winning a bunch of fights, but the last several have been bad to the point where, like the Jose Aldo one, people not feeling that, man. And I think it gets to the point where you could be winning fights, but if your fight's not exciting and if people don't want to see you fight, it actually does more damage. It does more damage to your brand than anything. Yeah, the Ricky Simone one and the Jose Aldo one wasn't the best fights. So he gonna really have to show up. But it's gonna be a tough fight because Patrick Mix, I think he was a Bellator champion and like a PFL. He came from one of those organizations. Then we got Kelvin Gastelum and Joe Pyfer. I actually been waiting on this fight. I like Joe Pyfer, and Kelvin Gastelum is 19-9 for a reason. You know, he inconsistent. You never really know what you're gonna get. But let's go do some research on Sean O'Malley versus Aljo. They definitely gonna flag this one, y'all, but we gotta look at it, you know. Let me see. How long did the fight last, actually? I know it was the second round. I'm trying to see if I can find a quick highlight. I just think it's crazy that Sean O'Malley gets an immediate rematch. How does Sean O'Malley deserve an immediate rematch? He should have fought a Corey Sandhagen. He should have fought maybe Henry Cejudo is, Henry fell off, but a Song Yadong, somebody. He shouldn't have been able to just jump in there and just fight no Merab again. Hold on. Piotr Young rematch would have been good. I've been saying it on TikTok for a few days. A Piotr Young rematch. Maybe even Umar or Corey Sandhagen. Any of these fights. Song, Corey, Umar, pre-order would have been good, or even Davidson. Davidson would have been a cool one. He got a freebie when he fought Cheeto, so you don't deserve necessarily an immediate rematch. Yeah, let's get into it, man. This is a good fight, though. They messed Aljo up by making him fight when he was injured. They was wrong for that, but it is what it is. He a grown man. He signed the contract, and people might not agree with this. People may not agree with this, but I think that Sean O'Malley is a social media star. I think that Sean O'Malley is pulling numbers on Instagram and things like that, but that don't necessarily translate into pay-per-views. It's almost like music artists. They may have all these followers and then their album actually drop and they sell 20,000 copies. Okay, but if you got 5 million people following you, that's supposed to translate into more album sales. I think that Sean O'Malley got the UFC machine behind him, and he's a social media star, but it's not a pay-per-view thing. The proof is Aljo said that they was coming to him with all these numbers saying they was going to make all this money on the pay-per-view, and that helped him take the fight. Like, it coerced him to take the fight because he was thinking about the money and the pay-per-view points. But then all of a sudden, the pay-per-view numbers come out, and he was like, yo, the pay-per-view didn't do that good. I think this pay-per-view did like 300,000. And the UFC machine is definitely behind Sean because they posted this knockout to Twitter like 5 minutes after it happened. Literally, after this knockout, it was on Twitter. I ain't talking about from one of us recording it. I'm talking about from like the UFC's official page. They put the knockout. We've never seen nothing like that before. And I like Sean O'Malley, but the UFC is obviously behind him. But I just don't think it translates into what they're trying to make it into be, like him a megastar. I think he's a social media star, and that's not necessarily the same thing as a pay-per-view star, if that makes sense. But Sean is nice, though. This not hating on Sean. I just see him for what he is. But Sean is nice. I think he won the Piotr Young fight. I think that he was always going to end up fighting for the title. I don't have nothing bad to say him in that regard. But I just think that they do force Sean, like they overly do it. Like leading up to the Merab fight, when they was in the Vegas Spear, they had a commercial with him, Tom Hardy. What's up, Base Chad? They had a commercial with Sean O'Malley, Tom Hardy, Dana White. It was like crazy because Merab wasn't getting commercials like that. So I'm like how you got a challenger, and he getting all kind of commercials and all kind of cosigns from people. Hold on, what did Jamal Hill say on that tweet? Either way, this fight is good for the sport. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it was good for the sport. It was decent hype, you know. This was a good one. I still feel like Sean don't deserve an immediate rematch. I feel like because he hadn't fought nobody. He didn't fight nobody after he lost to Merab. He literally just been gone, and we knew they was going to give him an immediate rematch. Is TJ right about Aljo's striking? What did he say? What did he say about his striking? I don't remember what he said. See if you can invite me as a guest. I tried to. It don't show me that. It only shows pin message, report, remove, channel activity, manage moderator, user and timeout, or hide. That's all they show me. Let me see if I can do something else. We gonna have to do the same fight on TikTok. We're gonna have to do it on TikTok too. But we'll do this for 30, 45 minutes, and then we'll go on TikTok and redo it. And then you can take over that one. He said it's trash. I don't think that Aljo's striking is trash. He's the funk master, and the thing is, he didn't start off as a striker. Honestly, this is the truth. In my opinion, this is just me talking. I think Aljo could actually knock people out if he committed to strikes. But you can tell his striking is in and out. He's just in and out, mixing it up, and obviously trying to set up takedowns and grappling. He's not necessarily like super confident in his striking enough to just really throw down, because let me go back and look at his record here. And he had one fight recently, bro, where I was like, whoa, Aljo striking looks real good, actually. But it looked good, but he just wasn't committing to no type. It's awkward. It's an awkward style. I got to find this one fight, bro, where it was like in his last 2 or 3 fights, so I was like, yo, his striking looked nice. But he kept messing up because his striking was looking good, and then he'd go for a takedown, and it was throwing him off. So I could see like, okay, he's just trying to do enough to get the grappling going. But boy, Sean, I think Sean is a good a championship a championship caliber fighter though. Truth be told, even though I feel like they kind of did Aljo dirty, knowing he was injured, knowing he had 3 training camps back to back, Piotr Jan, TJ, and Henry Cejudo, and he needed surgery. And we saw the behind the scenes. They did release the behind the scenes with him talking to like Sean Shelby or somebody, and they pretty much convinced him to take a fight that he wasn't healthy to take, and like on short notice. And they was promoting the fight before he even signed the contract. So then they were like, well, if you don't take the fight, then all these fans are gonna they spent their money. Yeah, you the one started promoting a fight that nobody signed a contract for other than Sean O'Malley. So that was dirty. That was very dirty, man, and underhanded. And the UFC got a history of doing stuff like that. But I still think Sean is a championship caliber fighter. It's hard for me to hold the Merab fight against him. He said Aljo should have stayed in bantamweight, 100%. He had no business going to featherweight. Then they robbed him at featherweight because he beat Mobsar. He won that fight. He won that fight, and they just don't like Aljo. But I still think that Sean O'Malley is a championship fighter, but Merab, it's hard to hold the Merab loss against him because Merab been beating everybody. Merab is in conversation to be one of the best bantamweights of all time. We was looking at this on TikTok last night. Merab's record is ridiculous, y'all. He got Jose Aldo on there, Piotr Jan. Uh, man, he got so many people. Let me see which fight this was. I want to say it was, I don't know, maybe the Henry Cejudo fight. Maybe it was the Henry Cejudo fight. It wasn't the Sean fight. It may be actually. It may have been the Calvin Kadar fight. I think that Aljo's striking looked real good, but he kept messing it up. He kept messing up the flow because he kept going for takedowns. And I was like, yo, if you actually committed to knocking out Calvin, he might have been able to do it. What's up, Vitali? He may have been able to knock him out, but he just doing enough striking just to close the distance, which ain't nothing wrong with that. Do it. Do what you got to do. But let me go look up. Merab's record. Merab. I'm on another screen here. I got this screen going on down here while I'm looking up the record. Then I got the. What y'all think about the fight? What y'all think about this fight? Actually, what's up, Nathan? We're just checking out some footage since we got the Merab fight coming up with Sean, the rematch. Sean, Vitali, guys, we just looking at Sean O'Malley to see, what can he do in the rematch. I guess it'll be better for me to put on the Merab fight, but we'll do that after this. I do want to see this knockout. Do y'all think that Sean can knock out Merab in a rematch? That's my question. Can Sean knock out Merab in a rematch? I'm going to see if I can run a poll here. Who will win the rematch? Merab or Sean? All right, so I'm starting a poll. If y'all can see it, definitely vote. But let me go look at Merab's record here. The fight is only 2 weeks away. I'm glad because they need it because the next week we got Macy Barber in them, and no offense, but they don't really get the gears turning. Is Macy Barber, who I got, bro. I gotta go with Merab, bro. It gotta be Merab. I mean, realistically, Merab been delivering. The only way Merab gonna get beat is if he get caught, and he showed that he's not gonna get caught. But I know my brother probably is disagreeing with me right now, more than likely, and we'll talk about it on TikTok because he probably gonna say something along the lines of Merab stand up with his opponents too much because we've been talking about this, and he feel like Merab stand up with his opponents too much and give them opportunity. But you got to stand up with him to some degree. Merab wrestling is too crazy. It's too crazy. He went for like 50 takedowns against. Let me get off this ad, y'all. He went for like 50 takedowns against Piotr. What can you do? He said Merab play with his food. I mean, you got to stand up with him to some degree. You can't just go in diving in no takedowns. That's what messed up Aljo. I said Aldo. My fault. That's what messed up Aljo. But dude, I'm finna call off some of the names on Merab record in this win streak. Dude, he got Brad Katana, Casey Kenny. Well, that ain't the best, but that's good. He was getting on the win streak. John Dotson, Cody Stamen, Marlon Marias, Jose Aldo, Piotr Young, Henry Cejudo, Sean O'Malley, Umar Nurmagomedov. Dude, this is a crazy record. This is a ridiculous record, man. Sean will be better. Yeah, he got Aldo too. Sean will look better than the first fight, but I still think, yes, I agree. He gonna look better. Of course, he gonna get better. The takedown defense will be there and stuff, but I think that just like his takedown defense and stuff will be better, I think Merab's striking will be better. I wouldn't be surprised if Merab catch him with something and maybe knock him out. I mean, not just, and that's just saying that, like, if Sean is too worried about the wrestling, because sometimes people go in and they're too worried about the wrestling, and then think about the Conor McGregor and Khabib thing. Conor was looking for a takedown, and then Conor went upstairs and dropped him. And it was like, whoa, where'd that come from? Base Chad, O'Malley and Yair getting title shots makes no sense. Base Chad, we on TikTok. Bro, I just made TikToks about this literally yesterday. Why is Yair Rodriguez getting a title fight? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Whoa. Oh my God. The grounded pound is so nasty. Oh man. It looked like Aljo was in the clear too for a minute, but then it just, oh man. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Let's go back and see that, man. Every single time, that's like, catch me off guard. Golly. Hold on, what an arrow at? Sheesh. Hold on. Hold on, this is what Merab don't want. This that sniper. Low key, it kind of looked like an early stoppage. Low key. Chat, is it time to have a conversation? Chat, is it time to talk about it? Because I feel like he was getting up, right? I think like he had gotten the worst of the damage, and then he started getting up, and then they stopped it. Hold on. I feel like it would have made sense to stop it early in certain earlier parts of that exchange where Sean was winning. Well, it wasn't an exchange, but oh. Okay, so hold on. Like that would have been a good point to stop it right there. That would have been a good one right there. That's two. Hold on. That's a third one. That's a fourth. I mean, he kind of barely, just a tad bit, stopped it too. I feel like, I don't know, man. I think that Sean was gonna get the position. I don't know, man. I think, and I'm just saying, like, if the referee was gonna stop it, if, I don't know, man. They may have stopped it a little bit too early, bro. I don't know. It just depends on. Look, and that dude right there, Sean Shelby, he the one that convinced Aljo to take the fight in the first place. I don't like it, bro, because they coerced that man to take the fight, and then they stopped it the way they did. That's all they needed. And now they happy. Oh, Hunter, my fault. I said Sean Shelby. You right, that's Hunter. My fault, man. Hunter. That was a hit job. That was a mercenary hit. That was a hit job. That's all that was. That was a hit job. They didn't want Aljo to have the belt. He was winning these fights, and they just needed him. They needed somebody else to have the belt. But he did it. I mean, nobody went in there and fought for him, but he did it. Man. But to be fair, when he won the whole arena was rooted for, but they also had that fight in Boston. They had that fight in Boston, and they started promoting that fight before Aljo even signed the contract. Then they called him into negotiations and told him, oh, well, if you pull out of the fight, think about all the fans that already bought tickets. Man, y'all start promoting the fight before I accepted the fight. And put me on a poster and everything and made a date, and then you telling me that if I don't accept the fight, it's bad and all this stuff. It's like, that's dirty. That's a mercenary hit, man. But this was a sniper, man. But, bro, Aljo was winning and winning. I feel like Sean had the right to fight Aljo. Yeah. Osterine on the table now. Whoa, what? Oh, really? Oh, they did get out of USADA. They did. They did. We made a video about that about a year ago. They did get out of the USADA thing, but again, Aljo didn't want to fight Merab and made Merab fight the ranking one by one. Yeah, but there was a point where Aljo was talking about if he had won, if he kept winning, he was gonna go up and fight Volk. So he knew that he couldn't hold up the division for long. Aljo's boxing is suspicious. Look at how overextended he overextended that. Yes. Well, he's a funk master. So he leaned into that because he don't have a traditional technical striking style. The UFC made their own company to test their own fighters. Bro, they got their own labs. It ain't no telling what you can get away with. I mean, let's be real. And to be fair, some stuff they probably should be able to get away with as far as and recovery and just injuries. But he was not beating no Volk. There was no way. He was not beating Volk. There was no point of even. I forgot what fight that was that we saw. We were like, yeah, there's no point of even mentioning that. But who else y'all? What other fight y'all want to look? Oh, let's see. Maybe Merab. Do they have Merab versus Umar on here? That'll be a long fight. But I mean, Volk a dog, man. You say what he did his last match. Yeah, you see what he did. Yeah, and look, the first few rounds, man, he was destroying Diego Lopez, man. I'm talking about it took Diego into the third round to really start fighting. Let me see, Merab versus Umar. It took Diego a minute to really get into the flow of that fight. I hope they got a highlight of this fight. Yeah, they got a highlight. That's better. That's more like it. No Magomedov, man. Let's see. Let's see. We saw Sean. We saw Sean at his best. Merab versus Marlon. Merab versus Marlon. Oh, you talking about Marlon Marias? I was like, I hope you ain't talking about Cheeto Vera. I mean, we could look at that one. This is his most recent fight. Hunter said they let a female fighter off because Hunter believed it was from BF. Whoa! Hey, it's possible. I mean, D Life is. Hey, they living up to your name, D Life. It's like they taking your name. He said, "I'm not trolling either." Hunter said at the press conference about them firing USADA. We got to go back and look at that. That's worth talking about but to be fair, and this not to go off topic, but women do hold on to certain things in their body that they get from men. Sperm. This is just science talk, but it does women keep some of that DNA in their system. That's chimerism. So it's not that unlikely. Hunter is a fool for telling that story though. It was hilarious. That's crazy. I never really heard Hunter talk that much outside of him talking to Aljo, trying to convince him to take the Sean fight. But imagine that girl. Do you know the funny part? What if she was like, I don't know. What if she wasn't being faithful to her old man and he heard something like that and he was like, wait a minute, we don't do that. We use condoms. And then it'd be like, whoa, what happened? Kayla Harrison fighting just shows UFC testing is a joke. Oh, so you think Kayla owns something? You think Kayla owns something? Kayla do look different though. Oh. Hold on. What y'all think? Oh, whoa. Umar didn't look bad there. My whole thing is Umar be injured. Umar, all those kicks and stuff, his ACL is chewed up, man. Oh, and Umar just swinging wild. But he was defending some good takedowns. The point of looking at this fight is, how do y'all think that Sean gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna tell you something. Umar is fighting good from southpaw. I think Sean gonna come out southpaw. I don't know if y'all noticed that. You seen her muscles outside of the fight? She's on everything. Dude, bro, I seen her at the press conference. You know those little shirts she be wearing where you can see her arms, those little cutouts? Her arms look ridiculous, bro. She was looking like the boy Ashton Hall. She was looking like Ashton Hall with her arms. Kayla got destroyed at the press conference. Her first loss in the UFC, yes. Juliana was putting a verbal beat down on her. I'm not gonna lie. We should watch that next, actually. Matter of fact, let's watch the press conference next. Umar should have gotten an extra fight before he fought Merab. Would it have made a difference? Because he beat Corey, and it ain't like, I mean, maybe a Piotr or Davison. Or maybe even Sean O'Malley. Make him fight Sean O'Malley. Costa versus Yoel is the greatest fight of UFC history. We actually started off this stream by watching a highlight of that fight. Believe it or not, that was the first thing we watched. We watched. This was a great fight. Yoel Romero was only on water and sugar. You kidding, right? I don't. Do y'all? First of all, do y'all think Yoel was natural? Ding ding. But then Sean was being a clown. Yes, Sean was joking around. Hey, no hacks and D life, y'all. Do y'all think? Are y'all noticing how good of a? Are y'all noticing how good that 1-2 looks from Umar's southpaw stance? Are y'all noticing this? Because I think Sean might come out southpaw in when they fight. Because I'm noticing that he's tagging Merab here. But let's talk about these genetics. Costa's brother was a chemist and known for making roids. Whoa. Are you serious? Where you get that information from? I ain't never know that. I know he was a bodybuilder, but Yoel, let me see it on. Yoel genetics and a test subject. Man. Yoel, I don't know, man. Yoel is just tricky because it could be genetics, man. But wait a minute. Didn't Yoel fail a drug test? But then they said that it was something was contaminated, and he sued and won, and got like it got like $40 million or something crazy. But he was jacked before that, so it didn't like that change too much. Costa's brother was a chemist known for making roids. I didn't know that Umar could beat Merab, possibly in a rematch. Umar won the first 2. Yes, he did look good in these rounds. It ain't like Merab owed him or nothing. And right here, man, Merab is taking a lot of damage. But he didn't fight Sean like this though. That's the thing. Like, he has fought Sean already by this point. He wasn't fighting like this, man. He was getting that fight to the ground, putting pressure on Sean up against the cage. Costa made a YouTube video and showed special supplements made specifically for Costa to get around testing. What? Special supplements? That's suspicious. If you arguing Yoel and Costa are natty, you arguing they didn't fail a test. They both failed tests. They did. Sean is worst champion in UFC history. Why is Sean the worst champion? I wouldn't say he's the worst champion, but he is definitely one of the most privileged. Like, he was talented enough to get there, but the machine was behind him for sure. And the Cheeto Vera fight was a gimme. Cheeto never deserved to be in the octagon. Never. He never deserved to be in the octagon fighting for a title. He showed that. Costa had a whole closet full of supplements. Special supplements. Oh, man, we got to find it. Bro, you got to send us a link to that because that's odd. That's a very odd thing. A special closet, a closet of special supplements. If that ain't suspicious, I don't know what is. Yeah, dang, Merab was putting it on Umar at the end, though. I ain't gonna lie. Never really defended his belt against a career contender. He definitely didn't. Dude, Cheeto fought one of the worst fights in a title I ever seen in my life. That was such a pitiful performance. No offense, but I'm just talking about the performance, not the person. That was such a pitiful performance, man. To say that he was talking like he was talking, it just showed that the first fight was a fluke. Costa deleted that part in the video with special supplements, but the closet video is on more plates, more dates video on him. Even though he didn't do anything until the last minute in the 5th round. Yeah. Let me see here. Paulo Costa. More plates. I know this guy gonna figure it out, man. But the thing about championship fights is the 5th round is where you win fights, though. You know what I mean? The 5th round for experienced fighters, that's where you win fights. And he knew that. That's why he turned it up in the 5th round, because that's what you do. But Umar gonna learn from it, and I guarantee you, the next time Umar fight in the 5th round, he gonna understand that it ain't even so much about what you do in the first few rounds. It's that that last round that's gonna win you the fight. He had heart and cardio and chin. Yes, 100%. Hamzat gonna lose round 4 versus DDP. I also agree. I think that at some point Hamzat gonna get gassed completely. Let's see.
If I think it was naturally achieved, and if it wasn't, what I think in particular he's taking to skirt the drug test in the UFC to maintain that body composition and that crazy athletic, muscular, and simultaneously lean physique. So Paulo Costa posted a
Here we go.
recent physique update. He's been vlogging actually, which is pretty entertaining to follow along, and he's been posting tons of progress shots along the way, as well as keeping us updated with his weight. And the most recent video he posted shows his current conditioning at still above 200 pounds. Hey, well, if he hit that.
This dude's a specimen, bro. It's like this dude look like the Terminator, man. This dude looks like dog. Costa is nowhere near where he was. Steroids shortened his career. Hold on, who was Paulo Costa fight next? Actually, give me 1 second, because he got an interesting fight coming up. Hold on. It would be nice to see him win. Hold on, but to be fair, y'all, he did almost knock out Rob Whittaker. I ain't gonna lie, man. If he had 10 more seconds, he knocks out Rob Whittaker, 1,000%. So that's kind of messed up because he did almost win the last one, but Rob just survived it some kind of way. Hold on, let me see one thing. Let me see who this next fight is. Ooh, y'all, Paulo is 34 years old. That's kind of it. Paulo Costa versus Hendricks was crazy. It was. Yeah, we can't look at that. Let me see what this fight is he got coming up next is. Roman Kopylov. Then I'm gonna go. We're going to see Paulo versus Hendricks. Kopylov is a good fight, y'all, because you know he want to stand up. Dude, he beat the piss out of Johnny Hendricks, if I ain't mistaken. Let me see something. Oh. Dude, Paulo looked amazing in his fight. Oh, my goodness. Dude, Johnny was, oh, my God, man. He looked like he didn't belong in there at all. I don't know. That's a good question. That was my next thing, too, man. They sent Johnny Hendricks to the slaughter. What was the deal with him? Oh, you know why? He kept missing weight. He kept missing weight at welterweight, remember? And then they was like, nah, your next fight got to be at middleweight. Because he missed weight against, who was it? Was it Tyron Woodley or Kelvin Gastelum or something? It was something, he kept missing weight. Man, he beat the piss out of him, bro. I remember Joe Rogan was talking about this. Yeah, that was when Dana decided he gonna put that punishment on you. You know, you finna fight in another weight class. You finna fight with somebody with good takedown defense, and they finna have one, and you know, like knockout power. The quality ain't the best, but we gonna skip down to it here. You know, you can't. He fought GSP at welterweight 100%. You know, the thing is, yeah, that was an easy win for Paulo. Easy win. And then Johnny looked pudgy. He looked so pudgy right here. Oh, my goodness. He looked pudgy. He just looked old, man. He just looked, I don't know. And then, you know, Johnny Hendricks got the T-Rex arms. You know, they dangerous. If the T-Rex claw gets you, then it's dangerous. But they short, though. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness, man. He was living up to his name, the Eraser, right here. Hey, I'm going to tell you another good fight. Do y'all remember Paulo Costa versus... Oh, look at that body shot. Paulo Costa versus Uriah Hall. Do y'all remember that one? Now, that was a sick fight. Did Paulo Costa ever really have real power? Because I always felt like he was a volume striker, and the power, like, it accumulated over time. But it was more of like an amalgamation of punches and combinations and pressure. It wasn't like one punch knockout power. Like, I don't know. Who's a knockout power? Who's a knockout artist at middleweight with one punch knockout power? I just don't feel like he ever was a one punch knockout power guy. Yeah, he never really caught. He never really caught people clean like that, in my opinion. This looks like elder abuse. It was. It was bad. It was bad. Paulo Costa's head kick to Yoel was insane. Let's go look at that one. But yeah, I never really thought that Paulo was a one punch knockout guy. That's why for me it was like I don't think his power. I don't know, man. Let me see. Paulo Costa versus who did we say? Yoel. The Uriah Hall fight, in my opinion, is the pretty much what sums up Paulo Costa's style. It just over time he'll just keep putting pressure on you, going mixing up to the body kicks, body punches, stuff like that, going upstairs, and it'll add up. Whoa, this was crazy. Dude, did y'all watch this fight live? You can't help but scream at the TV watching this fight, dog. I ain't gonna lie. When they was jumping each other back and forth, this looked like Goku versus Vegeta. And you know, neither one of them gonna pass no drug test. Golly. Hey, that's what he almost knocked Robert Whitaker out with. Oh, man. Dude, Yoel is eating punches and acting like he's not getting tagged. But he kind of firing back right there, though. Oh! Dang! That was crazy. And that was a split decision, huh? Hold on, we gotta watch that again. But this fight's too good. Far left head kick, short. Dude, this fight live was so sick, man. Oh, ate the ground. Boom. That's crazy. Then got up off the takedown. But this was like the last time Paulo Costa looked real good, you know. Well, he did look good against Robert, but before that, this was the last one. Something about the Izzy fight, man. He just never looked the same after that one in particular. I don't know what it was about the Izzy fight because Izzy broke him down. And I think Izzy humping on him at the end kind of, I don't know, it kind of messed him up. Kind of like mentally or something. I don't know. Yoel cheated with a fused, what? A fused neck and spine. What you mean? Costa took more damage than Yoel, but I was glad Costa won. Yup, took his man. I think something about it. Something about Izzy humping on him at the end of that fight. Because the fight itself, it was I think Paulo Costa was telling the truth. I think that he looked drunk or something, man. I don't know. I don't know why they let him into the octagon. He said he was drinking wine or something. And he was nervous. People coming up with excuses and stuff. People be saying different things. But it's like that fight wasn't crazy enough to where you should never look the same again. You know what I mean? It wasn't that bad. It wasn't Anderson Silva, Forrest Griffin. So I don't understand why it affected him that much. It had to be something else physical, like drugs, possibly. Yoel has a fused neck, a metal rod connecting his neck and spine. Oh, well, that's crazy. But you don't think that actually make you more susceptible to being knocked out? Because think about mentally, you going in there fighting, knowing you got a metal rod in your neck. You know what I mean? For me, I would be worried about that. He said Costa couldn't sleep. Yeah, he definitely, he looked weird. Even right here, he looks weird. Look at his eyes. His eyes got some bags under him or something. Yeah, I guess you say he couldn't sleep. That is making sense. Versus alcoholism. They all come up with excuses, man. They be saying that they had the boo-boo, which that's a true thing. They be saying had bubble guts and was smoking or drunk or something before the fight, or they had sex before the fight, or this, that, and the third. Abu Dhabi, and they put Costa right next to the race car track, and they raced all night. He couldn't sleep. Oh, really? Oh, that's messed up if that's true. MMA Guru mentioned it. Okay, I'm going to have to go back and look at that. He coming off roids as well because Izzy was all about Costa getting tested. But wait a minute. Ain't this the fight where Izzy had the thing on his boob? Yes, the gyno. And you can see it clearly. Izzy had a gyno out of nowhere too, yes. So it's like It's bad, dude. This is one of the. I was actually watching more plates, more dates, more excuses than Ronda. Nobody had more excuses than Ronda Rousey, boy. Oh my God, y'all. Ronda Rousey had the most excuses of anybody in history for losing, but which is crazy because she was a great fighter. She just lost to people who were way better and out of her league. But dude, Izzy right here, man, that gyno it's pretty clear and evident. And it's like, how is it that I never seen him have that before? But I didn't know what was going on until I seen other people talking about it. And I started noticing, like, I've never seen Izzy with gyno like that. This is so obvious that he was on something. But I seen the more plates, more dates guy talking about it on YouTube at the time, and he pretty much broke it down. And it looked like he maybe was on something. He said it was from smoking weed. I'm like, I don't know enough about smoking weed to know if that's what it does to you. But a lot of people smoke weed, and I don't be looking at man boobs, so I don't really know. But like fighters, I'm sure a lot of them smoke weed, and it ain't too many of them, especially at middleweight and down, who got man boobs like that. Different fight though. It was Strickland versus Costa. Costa said he was. Oh, that was the Strickland fight. But did he win the Strickland fight, or did he lose that one? Hold on, I got it up here. I'm tripping. He lost to Sean Strickland. Oh, the split decision. Arguably, he could have won. He could have won the Robert Whitaker fight, and he could have won the Sean Strickland fight. I think that honestly, he did better in the Marvin Vettori fight than people want to admit. I think that Marvin did a whole bunch of, I don't know. Paulo didn't pull the trigger toward the end of the fight, but he went into there. I think he missed weight, and then he went in with a messed up shoulder. He didn't start fighting until later in the fight, and he started winning. But at that point, he was kind of down on the rounds. He said, "I'd have 2 double Ds if that was true." My goodness, double D life. You gotta put DD life. He said, "You can't grow a gyno in your 30s randomly unless there's some hormone imbalance." That makes sense. And another thing is, if you got all these fights in the UFC and we've never seen you have gyno before, because I remember at the weigh-ins, it looked so bad. It was obvious. It's like, it's nasty looking, you know? He lost to Strickland. He lost Strickland 1 and then fought DDP. And then Sean Strickland went out there and got smoked by by DDP. And now the fight that everybody is talking about is Kamzat versus not Sean Strickland, but DDP. I think DDP gonna win that one. Everybody keeps saying Hamzat round 1 submission. I disagree. I think that DDP gets stronger as the fight goes on. I think he gonna pull through. Izzy got estrogen in his system from his whoa. Okay, I see where you going with that one. That's a reference to, we were talking about Hunter Campbell was saying that one of the girls failed a drug test because her boyfriend was doing what grown folks do, and you know some fluids were exchanged, and so they were saying that's why she failed the drug test. So that's why he made the joke, Izzy got estrogen in his system from he's joking, but he said his partner as Connor. DDP is everything we wanted Costa to be. Yes, kinda, because I guess a lot of people felt at some point that Costa would go on to be champion or fight for the title, especially after that Uriah Hall fight. That Uriah Hall fight really made people want him to fight for the title because he looked dang good in that fight. Because he was losing at first and he had to really show some heart and mix it up and come and get that fight. Shouts out to everybody in the live. If you're in the live, make sure you like it. Make sure you like it. Since we're using footage from the UFC, we're gonna have to put this on Patreon. We're gonna clip up certain parts, but since we watching fights, we're gonna have to put it on Patreon because they're gonna copyright everything on YouTube. It's their platform. We ain't complaining or nothing, but in order for y'all to get the full experience, we're gonna set up the Patreon. So also, if anybody knows how to edit videos like this, so we can start putting more stuff on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And if you don't charge an arm and a leg, definitely reach out to us because we need an editor. We work full time and we go to school full time, so it's hard to kind of find time to edit as much as we want to. So we've been on TikTok a lot more, but we want to make sure we putting everything on YouTube as well. He looked like he could take anything in there and keep moving forward, bro. You could have brought a baseball bat in there and just beat him down with it, and he still would have came forward that night. He was looking crazy. Izzy's leg kicks were crazy in this fight. Yes, they were. He was setting them up beautifully. Look at his eyes, dude. What, dude? Look at this. You can't really see it that good on the. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom in. Dude, he looks terrible. And the crazy part, he looked like this getting into the octagon. This is what he looked like when he first got in there. So all of this, I mean, some of it is that jab. Don't get me wrong. Yes, we talked about that at the beginning. Roman Delise and Hernandez for August. That's gonna be a nice one. Yep, he kept thinking his whole fight. Yeah, I kept thinking his whole fight. What's wrong with him? He just looked terrible, man. It was just like, what? The worst part about this was him getting humped, though. Like, I think that's what really messed him up. Then Izzy had a string of weird allegations after this. Something about the dog, messing with a dog. Something with a. It was just, I was seeing different things that made me think like, Izzy, bro, I'm seeing some weird tendencies here. Costa has the perfect physique, Roy's or not. That's a great genetics. Yeah, I'm sure some of it is genetics because I don't think anybody could just get on whatever he's on and look like that. And then even if you are on something, you still got to be you got to be smart to be able to cook it up like that and to have it to where you're on the right, you cycling it in a way to look like that. So there's a lot of things that have to come together to be able to look like that and fight the way he was fighting before this fight. But bro looks outstanding, man. Like, do the do arms? Hold on, it was this angle right here, bro. This dude arms and stuff like that, bro. Crazy. I know he ain't having no problems with the ladies, man. Especially being in Brazil. Can you imagine all the women? Oh my gosh. Imagine looking like I almost call him Paulo Brazil. Because I was thinking Sao Paulo, Brazil. Imagine looking like Paulo Costa and living in Brazil and going to the beach. Can you imagine all the women, bro? Yikes. So many women. He probably was plowing so much tail over there in Abu Dhabi. Man, can you imagine? Oh my goodness. Because I know they looking at him like, yeah, that's for them. That's what they. Oh, his leg is destroyed. It said 20 leg kicks landed from Israel Adesanya. Dude, Izzy looked amazing in this fight, though. I'm not gonna lie. Izzy looked real good. I wish we could see this Izzy again. We ain't seen this, but to be fair, Izzy looked good in the DDP fight. Izzy looked good in the Dricus fight until the end. His leg is destroyed, bro. I wish we could get a better angle, but they keep showing it behind the timer. And look at where Izzy is kicking him. It's red right above and right below the kneecap. So oh my God. Dog. That gotta feel like a baseball bat going across your legs. How was he was diddling his dog on live TV. Oh, I thought you were making a Diddy joke. Oh, you are making a Diddy joke. Oh, it's even worse because he was diddying the dog. Ah, dang, I see. Dang, that was bad. You diddying your dog, bro, it was a few accusations, man, it was looking bad for Izzy, man. John Jones got some bad ones too, man. I ain't gonna say nothing because these are some dangerous men, but they seem to have some proclivities going on behind the scenes that's on another frequency. That's probably why he fell off some fame, yes. Hey, it seemed like when people start getting money, they start getting into like weird, like sexual stuff. I don't know if that's something that happened that's just in you and the money bring it out, or if it's just something you get. Maybe you have enough women. This not even about fighting. This is just a real conversation. Maybe you have enough women and then you start wanting other stuff. I don't know. I don't think that you're supposed to sleep around with too many women. After you have your fill, I think you should chill out and settle down. Otherwise, you start getting into weird territory. Because most of these dudes, all R&B singers, rappers, they all get caught up doing stuff. And you be thinking like, wow, you got all these women. And it's like, that's the point. You done slept with 500 of them. Yeah, it's something going on, man. And I don't know, man. I seen the John Jones video and I was just like, whoa. The one where he grabbed the dude, like the back of the dude leg. Hold on, that lag, but that was crazy. That was a nasty combination, y'all. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. Whoo. That's probably why he fell off some. Guy, look at his leg. Yeah, his leg beat up. That laugh is, oh, back of the head a little bit. Hey, is Paulo Costa balding? Is he balding? And I'm asking because I've heard of I know it could be it's genetic and stuff, but I've heard of like a correlation between steroids and how what they do to you and stuff like that. He said, "Yeah, you have everything and you can't figure out what the hell you want. It got to be something." That was nasty, man. This big pause, but whoa, that sucks, man. Look, bro, just knock me out. Just knock me out, man. You ain't gotta do all that. You ain't gotta be on behind me, hunching on me and all that stuff. It's like sex and drugs. One isn't great without the other. Okay, dang, I never thought about that. You said I always thought Izzy's missed that left hook. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see what we can get here. Let's see if that left hook lands. No, it hit him. It hit him. It hit him. It just barely grazed him. It said, like, yes, balding. His hair got thinner, but lately he went to Turkey to get hair transplant. He, I ain't trying to see it from the back. Yo, we ain't trying to see all that now. But, and we know, I got friends who balded and stuff, and it's natural, man. It can happen to anybody. You know, you have a head full of hair and it's genetic. It can just start going. It ain't nothing against that, but when you got allegations like this, it just don't look good because it's like, I heard that it can make you lose your hair and stuff like that. Oh, that was embarrassing. What fight y'all want to see next? I would say we probably gonna have to go to TikTok next because my brother got some stuff he want to say on about these fights and stuff coming up. So if y'all got TikTok, follow us on TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. I think we got it in the like on our profile page. It should be there, but it's just the same name, Greatness Personified MMA, and we're gonna go live over there and chop it up and watch some more fights, and then my brother will be able to chime in. I can bring more people, and then I can actually add y'all in too, so it won't just be one person talking, because it's more interesting when there's multiple people talking. So thank y'all for tuning in. We definitely appreciate y'all. We're gonna upload this to Patreon. We're gonna upload some more stuff to Patreon, but we're gonna head over to TikTok.